Hello everybody. So today I will paint Sitting Bull's face, and it's going to be this is a recorded class because I bake in between layers and I don't want to make you guys wait. So I'm going to start by adding some highlights, and I'm going to use this makeup that is like for contouring. So it's just powder. You can use eyeshadow or whatever powder. You can also use pastels. But it needs to be done before you bake. Any type of powder needs to be done before you bake. So I'm just gonna add some highlights to the forehead here. I'm using the light one, this one. And with my brush, I'm going to highlight the clay. And then you kind of have to test to see if this is light enough for his skin type, or if you need lighter for the color, depending on the color that you used for yours. I think I might need lighter, but I'll see. So I'm gonna add to the nose here. And then as I get to the edge of the nose, I'm going to go larger, because his nose here, it's larger. So you highlight everywhere that you want to look like it's bigger, and you put shade everywhere that you think should look smaller. So it's very, you can't barely see, but you can see. It's very soft, but it does make a difference at the end. This is just like very easy painting. So I'm highlighting this area here, so this shade can show more. Like you can see, I'm going to do one side and then you will see the difference. So here too, everywhere that I want to pop out, I will highlight. So just this part of the chin. There. So I don't know if you guys can see in camera, because this one is just a light, but if I remove the light like this, then you can see the highlight does make an effect. So with the powder, you can also get some other color on top of this one and keep on rubbing, because it will stay. I'm also going to highlight the triangle of the eye here. And I have to highlight this side too. In this picture that we're looking, he has some more light coming from this side than from this one. But because this is a sculpture, you kind of want to match the two sides. And if you think it goes like it falls wherever you don't want, just don't rub and just blow. So it will come out. Okay, so it's very little, but you can see already more shades on his face. It looks like we added shade instead of highlighting, but it was just the highlights. And in my opinion, it already make a big difference. I don't know if you can see in camera, but I can see it in here. So I'm gonna try some lighter one. I might go, you cannot have a glitter on the makeup like this one. Don't use the ones with glitter, use the ones without any glitter. So this is eyeshadow, and I just used this actually because my cousin gave me a bunch of those. She didn't want any more, and then it's just perfect for my sculpture. And I think I'm gonna use this one. It's a bit lighter and yellowish than the one I used. So just to see if it does a better effect. So it is a bit lighter, as you can see. And then maybe we don't need to add this one to everywhere, just the parts that we want to be even lighter. So we have like two different shades of light. I don't know how to say that, but anyway, two different colors of highlights. And I found a digital image, like digital colored image of him on the internet, and it's kind of like good for us to have a better idea of what colors to use for him. All right, so I'm happy with these highlights already. So for the shade, I'm testing some different browns, and it's always good to test like on the back of the head so you know what color you're getting. Okay, so now I'm going to do some shades. All right, so for the brown, I'm going to go here. And I'm just using brown, one of the browns that I chose. I'm actually mixing two browns, so let me show you guys. I'm mixing this one with one that looks just like his skin color, and I tested on the head, so that's what worked better for me. And remember, you can always use pastels or even watercolors. You can use watercolors too. And some of these I'm just gonna use like for the powder, I'm just gonna add like the very light shades, because the darker shades I prefer adding with paint, with Genesis after. And the only reason is that I can use a thinner brush and I can control better. So this one is for like the things that you want to be more spread out. The powder is easier. So that's why highlights, highlights with paint, I don't like it. It doesn't look natural. But the small details that you need to be right in the position that you want, in the spot you want, it's easier to just use the paint after. Just mixing here. So this is good because I don't want this to be too much. I want to spread out. So the powder is perfect. It's really easy to spread the colors out. It's soft. You don't make a mess, but only with the large shades. You don't want to paint details with this unless you are like really confident, then you can get a thin brush and do details too. I've done already, but this is easier. I figure it's easier with the paint. All right, so that's it for shading. Now I'm going to bake my piece, shading with powder. Now I'm going to bake this piece, and a piece this big, probably I'll leave like for 30 minutes in the oven. 30 minutes, 130 Celsius degrees, 275 Fahrenheit. 30 minutes will do it. We can always bake later again if we need. We can bake as many times as you want, but just so you can see the shades here and highlights how it makes a big difference on the face. And you saw it's really simple. I didn't do a lot, and there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna bake this, and I'll be back with this baked so we can keep on painting with Genesis now. Okay, so I have the face baked and it's cold already. Don't paint when it's still hot because the paint might dry as you're painting, and we don't want that. So I'm going to be using Genesis Burnt Umber to make the darker shades. And Genesis is really good. Like, it's pretty much the only thing that I like to paint my polymer. You can make your own Genesis as well with liquid clay and anything that would color it, like makeup, you know, like foundation. So I will put on the parts that I can see that is much, much darker than the rest. And then with a dry brush, I will start spreading out so it's not so strong. I think he stopped recording because my battery is low. I hope you guys saw that I spread it out here. Okay, I'm not sure if I recorded this because my battery was low and I think it stopped recording. So I'll do again in the other side of the eye. So still talking about Genesis. It's pricey, but it takes forever to finish because this paint never gets dried, only when you bake. So it has the same properties as polymer clay, so it's really good because of that. You can work with layers, and just when you're happy with the result, you bake, and then you can make the second layer after when it's already baked, so it's not going to mess up the first layer. So it's very good paint. It's pricey, but again, it comes very thick and it takes a long time to finish. Like, I bought this a long time ago, and I'm just using mineral oil to, you have to like make it thinner a little bit. I'm using mineral oil. I just put a little bit of mineral oil on it, and it's just like already softer on the first layer. You can also use clay softener itself, or there's other products that are for that you have to be careful because some of them give a little bit of too much of a shine, like it's too shiny. So I like the mineral oil better, or I mean, my favorite is actually clay softener, but I run out and I'm just using mineral oil. So as you guys can see, I put the shade to force this triangle, like to mark the triangle over the eye better. And here I put too much, so I just get the Q-tip and clean up the excessive paint, which is good because it doesn't get dried, so you can always clean it up. And if you need a better cleaning, you can just put some oil on your Q-tip and then rub it off, and it's going to be completely gone. All right, so I'm going to put some over here too, that I can see it's really strong mark. And then with my dry brush, I'll just dry out and keep on giving this direction to my paint. It doesn't go all the way here. It's concentrated more inside this shade. So I'll just clean up the excess here. And then that's gonna give me a better result. That's good. I like that. I'm gonna do the same here. And if you want to mark the wrinkles, I got the wrong brush. You can add some clay inside. You don't need to go one by one, like you can go just a big amount and then clean up the top too. I want this one to be really strong, so I'm just going to kind of go in like that. And then I'm just going to clean up with a paper or with the Q-tip or whatever. Even with your finger, you can just rub it and it will just show more the insides than the outs. Then it doesn't really stay out because we rub it off. And then you get the wrinkles done. And I'm also going to, where's my brush? Here. I'm gonna do the same in these wrinkles here, just like the stronger ones. And then pulling up. And it gets just on the wrinkles. Same thing here. And here he has also extra ones right there. Right under the eyes you can also see a big mark. And these wrinkles this side. We can go here behind the nostril and mark this wrinkle more. We can always shade his features a little bit more, like if you guys watch those transformation makeup on YouTube, you know, like when a person just changed its own face into somebody else just by shading the face. Those videos are actually really good for learning how to paint your sculpture's portrait, because you fix all the problems, all the features that are wrong with painting, and you can get the sculpture to look much more like the real person just by shading nicely. Then if you need, right? So it's good videos. Those are good videos to watch. I'm going to maybe shade a little bit here and then spread out with a dry brush, and a little bit here too. All right, another very important part to shade is around this wrinkle, so it shows better. These two wrinkles, right? This one and this one. Look at the difference when we add the shading. It looks much more deeper than without the shade. So I'm also going to shade in here. This filter. I'm gonna shade between the lips. And a tiny little bit around the lip. More here in the center than anywhere else. And spread. Also, we can give a little bit of a contour to the lip here. I need my glasses. Now I have my glasses on. I hope I can do that and use the glass at the same time. So I'm just going to add some contour to the lip here on the top, like this, and a little bit more on the corners here. Giving a little bit of more depth. There we go. There. Okay, I like that. I'm going to again mark this shade a bit darker here. I did just one side. I'm going to shade the chin here. Spread with the dry brush. It's always the same. It's shading and highlighting. Oh, and that looks already a lot like him. I got some powder here that showed too much, but that's okay. I'll just I'll cover up with the paint after. Maybe too light for my skin color. Maybe I exaggerated. But that's okay. We can always fix. Just like Bob Ross says, it's just a happy mistake. All right. I like that. We can also shade inside the nose if you think you need. I can give a little bit of a shade here. You can see a little mark in there, so I'm just going to spread. Oh, that's because the powder got inside the pores that my texture, so we can solve that by adding some paint to the pores and then rub it off, just like the wrinkles, so the pores are going to show more. There you go. Then this one you really want to rub it off. You don't want to let it dark here. You can also add some in these pores here, like the stronger ones that you want to show, you know, the skin texture, and clean up so it gets inside, just like we did with the wrinkles, except that this one you really want to clean up because this is the lighter spot. There we go. Okay, I like that. So once you are happy with the darker shade, you can bake it again, so you won't mess that up anymore. And then we can do the next layer. So I'm gonna bake it just so you guys see how easier it is, because usually when I don't bake, the students tend to do it the same as I'm doing. So I will bake and then make sure that you guys will bake too. Oh, I forgot to paint the ears. I mean, it's not gonna show, but you can definitely also do the same with the ears and, you know, clean up the excess, and that's it. Just put darker inside. and then clean whatever. It's lighter. Okay, so I'm gonna bake this layer and I'll be back for the next layer. Actually, no, I forgot to paint inside the eyes. I completely forgot that. So for inside the eyes, you gotta be very careful. Should probably get a thinner brush, but I messed up my thin brush and I didn't buy another one, so I'm gonna have to use this one. And I'm gonna go inside there. You see, usually I put the sculpture like in this position so I can paint inside. So we really just want to go inside. And then also here you want to have this double wrinkle mark there. So just go lay down your piece like that and paint inside. And here you don't need to just paint the double. Just go ahead and make it all dark. There you go. And if you made a mess, clean up. You can also put some cotton on a toothpick. Wrap some cotton to the toothpick to clean up smaller parts if you need to. Okay, so there you go. You don't need to come out here. It's just inside, there and there. Okay, now I'm gonna bake it. And you just need to bake 8 minutes to get the paint done. And same temperature, 130 Celsius degrees for 8 minutes every layer. Okay, so now the layer is baked and cold, not 100% cold, but I don't have time to wait it cool off like all the way. Now we're going to put some reds. So I will use Pyrrole Red, and I'm gonna get this here. This side is dirty, so I'm just gonna show in this side because then you guys can see the amount of oil that I put. And I'm gonna add some mineral oil, add some brown to it. Doesn't matter because my brush was dirty. I'm gonna add some reds, and you want this kind of like very, very thin layer. It's okay that it's brownish. I kind of like it better even for his lips. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm going to put to his lips, just like touch with the brush like that, very soft. You don't want to look like he's wearing lipstick. So just some touches, and then you come with the dry brush and spread a little bit. It might look like he's wearing lipstick right now because of the oil, so it's like bright, like shiny, but as it gets dried, it will lose the shiny and it will be matte, and it's gonna look good. Okay, I'm going to clean up a little bit here. I don't want it to go down there. I want it to have like a lighter spot around here. Just make sure that it's only on the areas that I want. And then you can add more reds. Like, I mean, the picture that I'm looking here doesn't really have reds too much. Let me just get more oil here. So here I'm just making more red without as many brown. This is the pure red, and then just a very transparent here. And this is what I'm going to use to add some, you know, just like he's in the sun and he got some reddish cheeks. Maybe a little bit red in the forehead. Get a little bit further. And then oh, that is my spreading brush. I used the wrong brush. And just go around. And you don't want to clean up all the oil now because the paint is gonna go away with the oil. So then it's kind of good so you can see where you already add, because if you just add the red, it's hard to see. So that's some reds. And what else can we add here? I think that, oh, There's some, no. I'm looking to the digital color. Let me even show you guys. So as you can see here, they painted his eyebrow black, I guess. I don't like that coloring, so I'm not going to add that. I think I'm happy with the eyebrows. Natives, they used to pull out their eyebrows, I think. I read that somewhere. I don't know if his tribe did that or if they just don't really have it. But yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm okay with that. If you want to add some shade to the eyebrow, like this digital colored one, then go ahead. I won't. I'm just gonna give mine like that. I'm actually pretty happy with the result. I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm gonna bake and come back with the sculpture ready and show you guys the final result. So that's it. That's the final result. You can see the red is really, really soft. You can go more if you would like to. It's important to remember that if you add that much oil to get really thin, you need to bake longer, or you might need to put the heat gun to dry out this oil and don't remove the paint. Otherwise, you're just gonna rub your finger after and the paint is gonna come out because the oil didn't dry enough. Okay? So if you want to add more reds, you can go ahead. I mean, this is a very basic painting. I'm not an amazing painter. So you could add more yellows, you could add more greens, you could add purples, you could add much more colors here if you want to go for a more realistic or more detailed painting. I'm just gonna go here. This is usually what I do anyway because I'm not that good of a painter, and I'm happy with this result, to be honest. I don't think it's necessary to go further in my sculptures. So yeah, but you are totally free to keep on going and do as many painting colors as you want to his face. So I hope you guys enjoyed this class. I think it was pretty fast. It went fast. But I hope you guys could understand all the details. And let me know if you need any other explanation on the paints that I used. If you don't know where to get Genesis, this paint, you can go to my Amazon link website. So it's not my store, but if you go to my website and you click on products that I used, it's going to take you to Amazon front store where I link a lot of the products that I use, and then you can just click on it and buy it from their vendors. I'm not selling those products. I'm just actually helping you guys to find. Okay, so you can find Genesis there. It's a reborn painting. And I think it's worth. And also, again, you can make your own Genesis. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to make your own Genesis as well. I've explained that before, but there's different ways to do it too. So it's worth to give it a research, do a research around to see the best way to go for you. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.